What's up, everybody? Welcome to CG Market Watch. Today, we're going to be talking about Constantinople and St. Petersburg being activated and what it would mean for the market. But before that, just a quick disclaimer here. Crypto Grinders is an established channel that specializes in the education of trading and investing on digital asset. Whatever we discuss in our channel is just our personal opinion and should not be taken as financial advice. All right, so time for the updates for this week. Now, what is happening in the market right now? This whole week we have seen how Bitcoin's price has consolidated above $3,800. We did go below $3,800. It was a very brief moment, and immediately we almost bounced up. So what exactly is happening right now in the market? I am here to just digest the information for you and just give you a little bit of my input. All right, so let's go. So let's begin with CoinMarketCap first. Now, right now we are at 130 billion. This whole week we have been around this level. We went to 128, 29, and we're at 130, and back and forth, right? So the volume of the market cap itself has just been hovering above or around this level. There hasn't been real movement yet. We do see that 24 hours volume is currently at 26 billion, not substantial movement as well, but pretty okay, right? As compared to a few months ago when it's so quiet during the bear market. Are we out of the bear market theoretically? No, that's another question, right? For another time. BTC dominance is currently at 52%. It has been between 51 to 52% as well, just between those levels. So we do see some Bitcoin dominance picking up as well. So that's a good thing, right? So currently what we do see is that Bitcoin is at 0.11% up in 24 hours. Now take note, this is the prices at the recording at this time. It may change when you're watching this video. Right now we do see that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, the rest of the other tokens, well, some are definitely doing better than the rest. I mean, Binance Coin went up by 9.98%. And we do see certain upside on certain tokens as well, while the rest of it are not doing that well, right? So it's a very common thing when it comes to crypto where you have a mixture of good performing tokens and not so good, right? So it's a usual day in the crypto world, right? So we do see Icon went up by 9.82%, and you have the ABBCC coin that went up 100%. Wow, okay. If I'm not wrong, ABBCC is an exchange, right? So TIDA and Enjing and also Steam, we do see their huge movement as well. So just to name a few, right? A few coins that have been moving quite substantially. So these are some of the coins that I've been looking at as well. All right. So to the news today, right? Ethereum Constantinople St. Petersburg upgrades have been activated. Now, it happened a few hours ago. We were all wondering what is going to be happening. Certain exchanges have already pledged their support for this upgrade. But what exactly does this upgrade mean? Okay, so what I'm going to do is in the next article, they have a very quick summary on what is basically this upgrade. I will just go through in a slower manner just to kind of just highlight what exactly is happening to Ethereum. But basically, what had happened yesterday is that it has been activated on block 7,280,000, 280,000. And we have seen certain improvements, right? Certain upgrades. That isn't exactly a new coin per se, but certain protocol has been upgraded, has been improved. All right, so it's called EIP, which is Ethereum Improvement Proposal, which comes from 4 different EIPs. All right, so I'm gonna be covering the 4 different EIPs later. But Constantinople is set to bring multiple efficiency improvements to the platform, including cheaper transaction fees for some operations on the Ethereum network. So we have also seen how the hard fork itself, Constantinople hard fork, has been delayed in January due to a newly discovered vulnerability. So it was actually delayed in January all the way to February right now that it activated yesterday. So what exactly is the Constantinople upgrade? What exactly does it mean for Ethereum? Now, this is just a very quick article to summarize what exactly is happening. But this was what happened historically. So basically, there was a vulnerable spot in the codes. All right, so that could actually lead to smart contracts being vulnerable to attacks, and that's the reason why Ethereum Foundation decided to delay the hard fork. All right, so the 4 different EIPs that are being implemented this time around are EIP 145, 1014, 1052, and EIP 1234. Now, basically what it means is it's an upgrade to the mainnet, right? It's an upgrade to the blockchain, to the smart contract itself. So it becomes a more cost-effective and overall efficient approach to process EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, a better approach to accommodate network scaling solutions such as off-chain transactions, anything that's above or outside of Ethereum transaction that's not kind of within the blockchain itself, can then be using EIP 1014. And improving on how contracts are processed, meaning the speed of recording and the speed of keeping into the block, stocking it up on the blockchain itself. A 12-month delay of difficulty bomb, reducing mining rewards. Now, the one thing we need to understand is that when Ethereum make a switch from POW to POS, which is proof of work to proof of stake, what it means is that the mining rewards will be reduced, right? So miners will then have to make a switch towards POS or find other tokens to mine, right? Because Ethereum's mining rewards will decrease, right, due to this particular upgrade. So you can see that the block reward adjustment will reduce block rewards paid to miners from 3 Ethereum to 2 Ethereum instead. Right, so this is one of the major improvement or one of the major changes to Ethereum's blockchain in that sense. All right. Now, it has led to high volatility in mining difficulty, and we expect a sharp drop in difficulty after the upgrade. Right, so after the upgrade, there may be some adjustment later on. But you know, the whole idea here is what Ethereum could be doing. It's of course a software upgrade, kind of. All right, it's just like an update of the phone, right? But in order to update a whole blockchain, a whole smart contract, it has to be at a certain block number. It has to go through a huge market movement. You have to have exchanges supporting you. So when it comes to that, you know, Binance, Huobi are some of the first few. Of course, Coinbase and Kraken were also some of the first few to pledge their support for this particular upgrade. All right, so these are just some of the facts about what is happening now. Of course, with that being said, now that this fork is over, we don't see a huge changes to Ethereum's price as well, all right? So there wasn't a huge fluctuation per se, but we do see that when the fork was happening yesterday, it was just very flat, right? There wasn't much movement. No one was really buying it, no one was really selling it. But that is just what the good news is, nothing happened, right? So we didn't see a huge dip in the market. We did see how Bitcoin went up slightly above 3,009 almost, right? And but other than that, there wasn't a huge movement, all right? So, well, sometimes being in the crypto space, it's kind of good that there wasn't a huge fluctuation in terms of prices, right? I mean, Bitcoin's price moving $200 in any ways could, you know, affect a lot of different tradings as well, right? Or different trades. Right. So when it comes to that, talking about Bitcoin, right? Let's talk about the price of it. Now, there are many different ways of people or analysts, you know, forecasting the price of Bitcoin. Some people are saying $1 million. Some people are saying $100,000 by certain time, by a certain period, right? So what had happened last year was that you realize that there were a lot of analysts saying that Bitcoin's price is going to drop to $1,800, $5,000, $2,000, whatever, you name it. Okay, there are so many different. I'm not going to like waste my time to do a report on how many people have pledged wrongly. Or even forecasted wrongly, but the whole idea here is no one can really forecast the rate or the price of Bitcoin, right? There's so many assumptions that you're making because there's going to be adoption, that we're talking about regulation, that we're talking about demand and supply, custodial services, we're talking about institutional buying interest as well. Will recession affect Bitcoin's price? Will gold prices affect Bitcoin's price? Will political turmoil or problems around the nations, around the world affect Bitcoin's price? There's so many factors here, guys. So what this person has done, which is a veteran crypto trader, said that with 40 years of experience, okay, in commodity trading. Now, no, I'm not saying he's wrong, right? If in case I sound sarcastic, but basically he meant and he said that Bitcoin's price will be at $67,193. Okay, it's much like buying a lottery and believing that this is the price. So does it mean that Bitcoin's price is going to reach this level and stay at that level like for a year? Not going to happen, right? So Bitcoin's going to fluctuate. But basically what he meant and how he actually calculated that was using a composite value of Bitcoin at 21 million, which is the supply, equals the value of 33k tons of gold, and then you divide by it. So basically he arrived to this figure. He derived this figure, I say 67,193, via the gold supply or via 33,000 tons of central bank owned gold and dividing it by Bitcoin's fully diluted currency supply of 21 mil. Now, and so voila, you have a new figure, $67,193. Probably in the next few years, I cannot remember this figure at all, right? It's too difficult to remember. But, you know, this article also covered how Bitcoin should be paid, how does Bitcoin compare to gold, US dollars, you know, and things like that. But one thing that I just want to share, this is my own personal opinion, of course, right, is that the whole idea here is anyone can put a value to anything, all right? So example, I'm using this road mine, right? So what gives this road mine its value it could be branding, it could be marketing, it could be demand supply, all right? It could be its value that it can give. So when it comes to measuring the value of Bitcoin or the price of Bitcoin, using another asset class, which is, so let's say example in this case commodity, which is gold, right? And then using gold's price to give an estimation to Bitcoin is also assuming that Bitcoin will become the digital gold. It's also assuming that Bitcoin is not exactly a security, not exactly an equity or whatever, or real estate per se, but it's kind of classified into a commodity. You can only kind of compare within your own asset class, right? So I compare, example, bonds with bonds, I compare stocks with stocks and performance. And so I compare within crypto as well, within crypto space, right? I cannot compare, example, Ethereum's with Apple's price. It's nonsensical, it doesn't make sense. So when you understand that point of view, you're assuming that Bitcoin is also classified as a commodity. And therefore, you are assuming that Bitcoin's price is then a good comparison between Bitcoin and gold, all right? So there's so many assumptions made that wasn't clarified nicely. And like I say, there's going to be many factors that can potentially affect Bitcoin's price. We talk about demand and supply, market sentiment. We talk about recession. We can talk about political issues, like example, North Korea and US that happened. Yeah, they call off the second meeting, and both sides of the countries are saying different stories, right? So President Donald Trump are saying that North Korea actually asked for full sanctions relief, right? It means to scrape the whole sanctions. And then the North Korea representative or foreign minister are saying that it's only half a sanction and we're working on denuclearization. So we don't know why Mr. Donald Trump walked out of the meeting. So both sides are saying different stories. Who to believe? Like, who knows, right? But this is what I'm trying to say. What gives Bitcoin's value is still not defined, right? And bank regulations have to, countries' regulation have to kick in. Banks have to regulate it in the sense they have to launch perhaps their own coin, and then that gives it value. So we are all riding onto this idea of cashless and cardless into this digital payment processing way, right? So who can really define the price of Bitcoin? It's really up to the market to decide. It's almost impossible to just give it a value. And the one thing that's pretty flawed about the analysis, I would say, is that we're assuming of 21 million supply that's already mined, right? So that's the total supply. But all of us know that currently we have only mined about 17 million to about 18 million worth of Bitcoin per se. We will finish the last mining in 2140, the year 2140. So we're still a bit early in that sense, right? So question is, why do we then use the number of gold, 33k tons of gold supply, and then divided by 21 mil of supply of Bitcoin that hasn't been mined? And then what exactly is our time frame here that we're looking at? So there's so many assumptions being made. There are so many pointers that are not clarified. All right. So to me, what I personally feel is that focus on the game plan right now. What is your game plan? What are you trying to get to, right? Is it financial freedom? Is it just making some money? Is it investment? Is it getting a side income into Bitcoin and then believing in the space, in blockchain space, in cryptocurrencies, and then riding on the wave? That's it, all right? So don't focus so much on the end game that where Bitcoin will get to 100,000, 50,000, whatever the estimate is, doesn't really matter. All you need to know is what is your end game. If your end game is to get to, example, to become a millionaire, for instance, then you know that whatever Bitcoin you buy now, all right, may eventually get to you to that level, and what price would you sell at? So that is your game plan you should follow. You shouldn't be following other analysis, other analysts that are saying or whatever their forecasts are, right? So there are so many assumptions that I'm making that are not clarified, all right? So this is just one thing that I really want to share with you guys, okay? Now, so talking about Bitcoin now, this is the UTXO, right? Which is the number of unspent transaction outputs. It has been on a rise. Okay, I've been tracking this since December. It has been on a rise. In fact, because of how Bitcoin's price has been, kind of moving, there's more fluctuation, there's more odds trading right now, altcoins trading. It's increasing on average about 100,000 transactions every day. All right, every day, guys. And when you realize that, right, if you have been sending Bitcoin around different exchanges or around different wallets, you will have realized that transactions are taking longer. Transaction fees are taking more as well. It's higher now. And these are kind of like telltale signs to tell you that transactions output are increasing. So think of unspent transaction output as to me, how I see it is clock network. Right? So if you have a piping there's about this size, say 4 megabyte or 8 megabyte, all right? This is like a block, right? And this block gets clocked. Why? Because there's so many transactions that are going through, and miners are having a tough time approving those transactions. There are less miners now, in fact, because of how Bitcoin's price has been performing in that sense. So it's tougher to approve transactions, and therefore they're kind of stuck in the system, all right? And therefore transactions are taking longer to get approved. And for those who can remember, there was a period of time where transaction costs are high, transaction fees are way, way high. Sending a Bitcoin over, one Bitcoin for instance, would cost $3 to $4 US. At the same time, it may take hours, right? As compared to bear period, if you guys did send some Bitcoin during bear period in the 18 months, Bitcoin's transaction is so affordable, right? It's in cents. And at the same time, the transaction that you send through takes less than like maybe 15 minutes or less. So think about that for a point, right? So what it means is people are moving Bitcoin, right? People could be buying, but most importantly, we need to understand the underlying fundamental factors that people need to buy Bitcoin using fiat. That means organic funds flowing in, organic volume flowing in, and not just exchange value. Like if exchange tether value is increasing, it means nothing, right? Because they are just exchanges playing with the funds per se. But we have to look at how the different exchanges or wallet, which is the first tier 1, right, that has access to the customers or to fiat per se, how are they doing? How are they performing? Those volume are more significant as compared to exchange volume in terms of BTC, all right? Because it's pegged towards another cryptocurrency, which could mean nothing. So one thing quickly, I just want to summarize. I'm not going to look through the article. I just like the summary here. So basically, a few things, right? Singapore, so Bloomberg reported that Singapore GIC, which is Government Investment Corporation. It's a very big thing in Singapore, I would say. But not many people even in Singapore knows about it as much, right, in full detail. But anyway, they want investors to help to raise $300 million for major US crypto wallet provider exchange called Coinbase, right? So for those in Singapore watching this, well, you know, this is kind of like a good news where the government is investing into blockchain space as well. So New York Times actually have an article alleging that social media giant Facebook is planning a highly secretive crypto initiative that intends to integrate its 3 fully owned applications, including WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram, and create a token with exposure to its totally combined 2.7 billion monthly users. So their idea basically is to kind of, dethrone Bitcoin and create a new coin called the Face Coin, okay, or whatever you call it, maybe a Facebook coin, right? So that entirely could be used in the whole ecosystem in these 3 different companies, and we never know what's going to be used for. Well, it can be used for example, purchasing ads in the future. It can be used for purchasing certain stuff, GIFs or whatever, you name it, I don't know. But this is the idea that they're having, right? Whether it will come true, we shall see. All right. Last of all, US stock market tumbled today between where the talks between President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un happened, right? So like I said, they walked out of the meeting. Then on the second meeting, it was a huge problem. The stocks crashed. So the Dow Jones Industrial Average DJI went down by 36 points. S&P dropped by 0.1%. So the one thing I just want to kind of explain is if you understand what's happening right now in the world, we have many issues, right? So in terms of conflict between countries, we have US and North Korea, which is all about denuclearization, sanctions. You also have US with China, which is all about trade war, trading territory, and sanctions as well. So both sides of this are not doing very, these are not good things per se. Like no matter how we say, that, or maybe how President Donald Trump says that this will be a good thing in the future for the market. It's kind of implementing protectionism for US market. That's kind of that's good and bad in economics terms. But one thing we need to understand is that this process of it, trying to come to a conclusion is not helping the market, right? It's actually creating more volatility in the market. So that's, to me, the essential thing is coming to a conclusion quickly, right? So that everyone can move on, right? But of course, that talks can drag a very long time. So this is what we need to understand. Now, even though we are kind of been looking into just the crypto space, we also need to understand the relationship between world news and perhaps Bitcoin's price as well, right? So will Bitcoin become the new digital gold, or the digital gold per se, which is a safe haven for investors? This will be the telltale sign, right? Whenever this happens, does Bitcoin's price go up? Does it consolidate? Does it go down? This could be a good time to kind of just estimate that. All right. Of course, for now, we don't see any correlation just yet. All right. Now, So moving forward now, this is one. Let's talk about the charts now. All right, very quickly. So what we do see is that Bitcoin has been consolidating after that huge dump, right? So it went out a huge dump. That dump was like sickening. Like, I mean, why? We have not enjoyed, right? We have seen so many of this dump last year. In from all the way from January all the way to December, we have seen this dump in a huge way. We also have seen how this dump can lead to a second dump, but apparently nowadays we do see more consolidation. We do see that even BTC dropped to say 3661 on Bitstamp. There was an immediate bought back, right? So it immediately pushed the price up. So we can see the fluctuation between let me just draw a price range. So we could see the fluctuation between a low of 3661 to 3896, right? Which is a 6.43% fluctuation in terms of Bitcoin's price within almost a day or within about 24 hours. That is pretty significant, right? In terms of an asset class. So we do see that stochastic RSI is heading down towards the oversold. OBV is still slightly consolidating. MACD is kind of showing a slight sign of recovery, but I wouldn't just conclude very quickly. So we do see that in terms of Kumo Cloud as well, we do see that there's a very thin line here, which could mean either a breakout all the way up. But we do see that there's a negative cloud here, which is the red one, which may also cause it to go down. All right. So the formation right now we do see is an ascending triangle or kind of like a rising wedge, depending on how you interpret it. So to me, both are not very pleasant signs. Why? Is because to me, I have a negative bias for now. I do see that MA200 will be tested again at 3620 to 36 range. So it has to test at that point again. For people to come back in, all right, to buy in again. And you do see the RSI, if it heads down to S36, we will get to the oversold section in RSI, and that may indicate a new bounce up, all right? Now, the other thing that is slightly different between BTC's tanking right now as compared to what we had previously in December, November or so, is that you realize that UTXO definitely is increasing, right? As compared to December period or even November, it was very, very low. But you realize that every day it's adding about 100,000 transactions that are being stuck in the network. And at the same time, you realize that altcoin trading, it's coming back. There's so much activity in altcoins trading. There are coins rising up to 120%, 200%. There are coins 14%, 7%, 5%, whatever you name it. There are altcoin tradings. Now, when the tanking happened in December and November, you didn't see a lot of altcoin trading. You didn't see huge percentages. There are some, but generally it's mainly just 98% rate, right? There's only like 2% that are, or 3% or even 5% that are green. But what you're seeing right now, even for today, is that you realize that, let me just refresh the page. When you see a combination of about 50%, right? 50% red, 50% green, 50% red, 50% green. So it's a kind of like a telltale sign. It's a good sign saying and telling you that, hey, people are doing alt tradings right now, altcoins trading, right? People are coming out to take some risk here to earn some money, right? Whatever. But you do see that this pump towards 4,002 has started to attract some attention. It's not enough yet. We need more, all right? We need the public media, right? The public media attention to start reporting Bitcoin again. We need that, right? We need that hype again in order for Bitcoin's price to move, right? If not, it's very sentiment driven. It's definitely not supply driven because supply is fixed. All we are looking at for Bitcoin's price to rise is demand, right? And demand push reasons, it has to be either regulation or it has to be adoption. These are the main two things. Regulation equals adoption in that sense. Regulation invites adoption. It invites people to kind of submit stuff, right? ETF, futures, whatever you name it. But it basically just opens more opportunities for different companies to do it, right? So this is what we need to be looking at: adoption and network. Adoption, network. That means more people have to be using it. The network has to be more decentralized. It has to be more widespread. It's much like a virus. You want it to spread as fast as possible, right? Yeah, that's the concept, like a zombie outbreak, right? You want everyone to own some Bitcoin and they transact in it. And that's ultimate purpose of what Satoshi has created for Bitcoin, right? That is the reason why he created Bitcoin, right? Is to decentralize banks, give them less power, at the same time empower people like us to be able to transact in crypto, to be able to use it, to be able to give it value, things like that, right? So ultimately, we should be looking at medium term to long term, right? So for now, we're just looking at the chart play. We may be heading up to 3955 as a resistance level. Support level could be at 3777, right? So it all depends on where Bitcoin is heading next. So ascending triangle, rising wedge, you interpret it. All right. Now, when it comes to Ethereum's wise, we do see another picture here, right? So Ethereum's chart is more like a descending triangle, can be a rising wedge as well. It all depends on how you interpret it, I say again. So we do see that it's kind of like a triangle formation when it comes to RSI. There's like a slight pinch towards a direction. Volume-wise, we're still kind of dipping slightly. In terms of MACD, it's still a very, very low movement, very slow. So once again, you notice that the cloud is almost of the same formation as well. So in the next few hours to come, if you're watching this, in the next few hours to come, we should see some direction or some movement from Bitcoin especially. That will determine where Ethereum and Litecoin will go. All right, so talking about Litecoin, like I say, Litecoin, it's kind of like a triangle as well as a descending triangle. I don't see, comparing Ethereum's chart, Bitcoin's chart with Litecoin's chart, we don't see as much upside, for me, okay, at least. I don't see much upside for Litecoin, right? Partly because RSI is already at the overbought section. We do see that it's still slightly away from the chart, so it's more than likely that it might dip, okay, maybe. But the good thing about Litecoin is that the halving for Litecoin is coming, all right? So that's a good telltale sign of how Litecoin's price will slowly appreciate as well, right? So that's a good thing. So let's see whether this will come into play in the future. All right. Now, very quickly, I just have two announcements to make. So the first announcement is that on our homepage on cryptogrinders.com, when you just scroll down on this YouTube, you'll be able to see two links, right? So basically, the first link will bring you to this page, right? So this page basically tells you that we have this SureWin crypto event right now happening. So subscribe, verify, and claim a Crash Course to Trading group, Trading Crypto. You have our advanced trading course where Ryan and I basically input all of our experiences in. It's on Udemy. It's worth more than $200 definitely. We took a lot of time to just compile. The whole team gave so much into just piecing out this whole trading course, right? It's an advanced trading course. You also have access to our private trading group, which is called CG Protege. At the same time, you may have $1,000 worth of Bitcoins up for grabs, right? So just follow the instructions here. It's very straightforward. It's very, very simple. Just go subscribe to this, okay? And at the same time, definitely sign up for CG Protege. Today, on 1st March, we're going to be launching what we call CG Protege Pro. It will be parked under CG Protege group in Discord, right? So we are only having two groups right now, which is CG Legacy. We have merged our elite members. We have merged and combined all of them into CG Legacy. And now we are just focusing our attention on grooming them in CG Legacy, giving them the best services or be it the best analysis that we can do into CG Legacy. At the same time, we have created this thing called CG Protege, which is a free group, but it has more information as compared to our Telegram group. If you would like to sign up for CG Protege Pro, which is hosted within our CG Protege group itself, it will offer 3 to 5 daily trading recommendations, okay? You'll be given the entry price, the stop loss, the TP level. You will also be given adjustment to TP, which means to say, if let's say there's a time where I feel that it's time to TP, I'll let you guys know. I will notify all of you to get out at the same time, all right? There will be a daily analysis, meaning to say I'll give you the daily direction. Now, the thing about cryptocurrency trading, it's very different from other forms of trading, is because your trading has to be built upon sentiment of the market. It has to be built upon how Bitcoin is moving on a daily basis, right? At the same time, example, if Bitcoin were to tank today by $200 in the next few hours, do you know how to what to do? Do you know how to react? Do you know that you need to close a position before that happens, right? If let's say the Bitcoin volumes drop for certain tokens, do you know exactly which tokens can you be holding on to? And you have all those questions in your mind, right? You must be thinking, so what can I do, right? So basically this group, our CG Protege Pro, is a one-way communication channel. You will not be able to communicate with us, but you'll be given 3 to 5 daily trading recommendation. You'll be given swing trading. You'll be given day trading. At the same time, you'll be given daily trading recommendations or daily trading direction or strategies to take Monday to Sunday every single day. And at the same time, every week we'll provide a transparent win-loss ratio report, right? So basically it tells you what was a good trade for that day, what is winning, what is losing, basically to track our success rate as well, okay? And at the same time, these trading calls are made by experienced traders like us, okay? So this basically summarizes what CG Protege Pro is all about, right? So it's a one-way communication channel. You will only be given EP, it means entry price, stop loss, and take profit. You'll be giving daily trading direction. And if you sign up for 3 months right now, you'll be given a report. This report is a quarterly report. Every time you renew for 3 months, you'll be given this quarterly report that tells you what the directors of CG or Crypto Grinders ourselves are holding on to. Not only just holding on to what we are trading, what we are accumulating, which tokens we are paying huge attention to, and what exactly is our strategy. So you'll get a fundamentalist outlook from Ryan, you get a technical outlook from me, and for the very first time, you'll be getting a technology outlook from Orbiton. Orbiton has almost 20 years of IT experience. He has seen how the Internet 1.0, he's saying that this is the Internet 2.0, and you want to know what he is looking at as well, all right? With what token is in his portfolio. It's slightly different from Ryan and I, that's all I can say, all right? So all three of us have different portfolios. We look at different things, different sentiment, different parameters, but we come together and certainly we discuss this, and the content team and ourselves are putting up this report. It's not like a Palm Beach standard, right? It's not like word form. It will be a combination of different style. You have both different kind of outlooks as well. You have our forward as well. You have the whole entire report if you sign up for 3 months for CG Protégé Pro. Now, so for more information, sign up for CG Protégé first. All the information will be disseminated within CG Protégé Pro, CG Protégé group itself in the Discord group. So if you want more information about CG Protégé Pro, head into CG Protégé Discord group. It's free, okay? But you'll get some information inside. And if you want daily trading recommendations, you can find it inside as well. And most importantly, at the same time, I'm giving you guys a 2-day trial. So for Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow and Sunday as well, I'll be giving some daily signals on the CG Protégé public channel, all right, to let you all try out our course, all right? So it's definitely for free, no issue. We'll kickstart CG Protégé Pro on Monday, and on Monday, which is next Monday, on the 4th, right, in Singapore time, it's 4th March, all right? We'll kickstart CG Protégé Pro on 4th March. We're giving you 2 days free trial, which is Saturday and Sunday, just to try out our course. And you be the judge. You decide whether it's suitable for you or not. All right. So if you don't like it, it's fine. Just stay within CG Protégé and enjoy the few different analysis research that we will do for you guys. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you in CG Protégé Pro. So of course, if you would like to sign up for CG Protégé Pro or CG Protégé or even for ZigMax, just head to the links below, or even go to our website, okay, cryptogrinders.com, click on announcement, and you'll be able to find the links required to sign up for CG Protégé Pro, or even for ZigMax to win some Bitcoin. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Safe investing, and I'll see you next week.
If you want to stay updated with the latest blockchain and cryptocurrency news, consider subscribing to our channel and don't forget to click on the notification bell. We'll see you in the next episode.